Alrighty, so this is where we're at the moment. I know I said I was going to actually have the roof on, but uh, the way I tried to explain before, the way my brain works, I see things and I need something to go one way or another, and then you look at the different processes. If you actually build a model per the instruction sheet, there are certain steps. Well, I can't guarantee any kind of steps when you're building something from scratch. So this is where we're at. I've added interior wall. This was originally supposed to be the back plate, but then I got to thinking about it. Well, I should make that a whole plate to be the back wall of the raised roof, which means it would be on the outside and not on the inside, and that's fine. It works, and I'll get to it when I do. Yes, this looks a little off, but that's because it is a little off. Interior wise, I took what I had started here and I used it in here. I cut it in half, cut some parts, and I have a bit more filling to do, and I am debating taking this piece here and filling this gap, if I can, my big old fingers. I'm debating filling that gap there and then using my sprue goo to fill in the bottom part there. But I will get there. By the time the update video comes around, I'll have a lot more done. So, but yeah, so you'll see the headliners in, and it's pretty straight for the moment. I've got a little bit extra work to do on it. But this gap up front is on purpose. This is where the windshield will fit down in between the headliner and the body frame here. So it works. Trust me, I did that on purpose. As far as that goes, though, I will have a gap, or I'm thinking of putting in the gap filler there. But I also decided, looking at this wouldn't be complete if I didn't go a little all out. The greatest likelihood is that the van, I'm going to seal this door. I'm going to go ahead and put it in place. Not just for any particular reason, because with these pieces in place, this here has become a pretty solid section. But I'm thinking I'll just go ahead and shim this in place. It'll be a little bit easier, but I'll do it before I do prime and paint, obviously. But when things are primed and painted and ready to go, and I'm ready to close up the body tub or interior tub with the body, I'm thinking, well, you saw what I did with that tarp on the Jeep. What I'm going to do is another technique with the simple old tissue paper, wood glue and water mix. But I'm going to take this 3-ply paper, and once I have the piece cut out, what I'm going to do is fold it accordion style, use some of my wire, and run the wire through a portion of the tissue paper, and then once that's done, I will give it a little, I'll fan it out, and we'll have curtains. That's what I'm getting at. We'll have curtains coming down like this, kind of decorative curtains. But yeah, the seats aren't mounted yet, but I just had them mocked up so I could see how this fits right. The dash is mounted so I could make sure things were cleaned up and lined up the way they need to be. And then the way this has to go is in like this. Now once I have this ready, I actually, because of this piece here, have to get rid of a portion here. So basically, using my pencil here, about this much of this area is going to come off. I'm going to lightly cut it down some, and then use my sanding sticks here, provided by Testers, I do believe. These metal sanding sticks are awesome. I've had these now for 2 years, or going on 2 years, and when you can just hear the grate going. And they're easy to clean up. Generally speaking, I take one of my stiff bristle brushes and just wipe it off nice and easy, and it helps keep. You can also run it under water and get the residual plastic off, but that's on you. Dry it immediately, because they are metal. But because they are metal, they work so well cleaning up plastic, and you don't even have to press that hard. I'm barely touching this, and you can see it's already eaten it up. Using that same basic technique is what I did to clean up the wall here a little bit and get it changed up some, get this angled here, and then cleaned up with this here to get something better going on. But anyway, so that's where we're at right now. I know it's kind of a quick video for a Sunday video, but this here has been a long process, getting the Fender Flares on and getting this cleaned up. I will share photos of what I was talking about on Facebook that will show this bit here and what I was getting at. Just a little bit more cleanup. Now that they're mounted, I can more easily get in here and get what's left. But otherwise, this here's actually, even though it may look a little cruddy, that's actually really smooth. But it was a combination of first attaching it with Tamiya extra thin, let it starting in this section because it's kind of a little forced fit now. I started up front, let the glue set, let the plastic set, and then came back, applied a little bit more glue, because the glue actually warms up and melts the plastic, so it actually softens the plastic here. And by very carefully doing this, I was able to get the Fender Flares right. Now that they're in place, as you can see, this outside is really seamless. Once all of that was done, I used thin layers of applied sprue goo, much like you would a putty or a compound, some kind of compound to fill the seams. And I kept going back and forth between, once it was in place, kept going back and forth between 800 grit, getting it all nice and smoothed out as best as possible, and 2000 grit. And I even have small sheets of 3000 grit I was going over just to get it smoothed right. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell here on video, but I did my level best to make sure it was, it matched all the way around, is what I'm going for here. But yeah, so this is where we are. The bed is, well, ready to go, basically. Actually, in the oddest sense, and this works in my favor, I cleaned up the bottom of the bed right here in the front. And the reason being, in order for the bodies, the body of the bed and the body of the van, to line up along the bottom, the body tub actually goes, instead of attaching like this, it actually goes up under just slightly and almost completely matches up to the bottom there. So once all of this is said and done, I'm going to have a slight piece of extra plastic in here, and then the body tub will slide in, or slide just over it like this, and it'll be a real solid piece this way. And then I have some of the, here we go, cross members here that work with the chassis. As you can see, this one here, that cross member is the one that fits in this slot here. Well, with a couple more cross pieces, cross members, this will go together or slip together quite nicely, and these pegs actually line up kind of like this here. Now what I have to do in order for this all to completely work out is I've got some round tubing, round evergreen tubing, and I'm going to snip those off where they're at, put a stiff wire in place, and then slip metal tubing over it, and the metal tube fits just in those holes, so everything will line up nice and neat. But anyway, I'm just describing this process because, well, in order to do a lot of this, there's a whole lot of sanding and a whole lot of filing and measuring and trying to get this all right. So with the camera stand here and the camera here in my face, it's really difficult to do all of that intricate work like this. So I'm describing what I'm doing so you too could go and do it yourself if you so chose. One day I'll have a better setup, better lighting, perhaps better camera, better audio, but for the moment I'm working with what I have because I want to promote the hobby of scale model building. So this is where we're at with this particular build. It's moving along. I have a goal of this build actually being done not next Sunday, but probably the Wednesday after. and then we'll get into discussing the promotional build for the downtown service station here in Waynesville, Missouri. There's the service truck I'm going to do. It's a promotional build for them. It's not a paid advertisement or anything like that. There's no money changing hands. I'm doing this initially for myself because I happen to like their logo, but I'm also doing it for them to promote local businesses. So look out for that and support local. I'm Eric with His&Hers Hobby Headquarters, His&Hers HHQ here on YouTube. Be sure you like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and share the videos. Get the hobby out. And of course, you can also go over to Facebook at His&Hers Hobby Headquarters and follow us over there. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them or DM them, and I will answer what I can. Have a good day.